journalist to please help me, because when I came back to Miami for a whole week, I had that burden in my heart, and I was, I need to do something. And my husband said, honey, we live in a townhome. We have 3 dogs, we cannot have more. And I said, there's space for one more, please. And he said, okay, if you can get the dog here, then, we'll have an extra dog. I said, okay. So I called this vet. I sent him video, pictures. I said, you can find it in the street, on the street where this is, blah, blah, blah. So that guy said, okay, we're talking too much. Let me go find her. And so, he sent me a video, and it's him saying, hey, Millie, hey, and then the puppy walking, and I said, done. So after that, he took it to the vet place, at the vet office. They gave him all the shots, and he said, you know what, I'm sorry, but he's not, Millie, it's not a female, it's a he. He said, Milo, and I said, no, because I have a Milo, it's going to be Max. So we have a Max now, and I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to bring him here, so, yeah. That's awesome. So it's a 4th dog. There's always a spot for someone else. No. And in this case, for another dog, another puppy. Well, Max is about a year and a half, 2 years old, and he's a retriever-sized dog. So it's not big. That little, Well, it's a townhome. You have 3 plus 1, 4 plus 2 of you. It's 6. So. Gosh, but we don't have children, and so that's okay. I think I can be a mom of 4-legged furry babies. That's true. Furry babies have furry mom. That's amazing. That's an amazing story. And once again, it shows your empathy towards people and animals. Yes. And not everybody can say that or relate to that. Now going back to your journalist career and profession, which I admire a lot. And I see that you have done a lot of things. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people listening to us through Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and listening to Arantxa's stories. And I think there's a lot of maybe people that they feel fear. And you mentioned that word before during our conversation, when you were coming here and leaving the fears behind, when you decided to go for something bigger. How did you handle fear at that point? Well, you have to understand that fear only precludes you from moving forward, right? I love, what Alexander the Great said, conquer your fears and you will conquer death, right? So if you don't understand that if you stay in your little comfort zone, you will never grow, then stay there, you're okay. But when you're about to experience growth, change, that comes with fear, because it's fear to the unknown, right? So in every decision-making process, you have to work on the pros and the cons, right? True. Another thing that helps you is the what if. I don't like when you ask yourself, what if I had only had the chance to go and do, and what if I had only given myself the opportunity? Guess what? The what if is in the past, right? So that's an obstacle too. Of course. I'd rather regret the things that I do than the things that I didn't do. Because at least when you do things and maybe the outcome is not what you expected, you tell yourself, at least I gave myself the opportunity. Things didn't work out because probably it was not meant to be, but I gave my best. So you're satisfied internally, right? And I don't like having ghosts in the closet. I like to know exactly, where I'm heading. And before, making a big decision, like I said, you have to put everything in a scale and say, But when you have major life-changing experiences in life, of course you're gonna be afraid. But guess what? Just tackle the fears. Like a bull. I bet that los toreros, when they're out there with the bull, they just stand up and say, "Okay, bring it on." Y a torear, man. That's how I think we have to tackle life. Confront your fears, take that step forward, venture yourself. The opportunities, that we have and the chances that we take in life determine our destiny. That's true. So it's about, if you have an opportunity, just take advantage of it, and also give yourself the chance to try something new. Step out of your comfort zone, explore new horizons. I'm telling you, those words, they really resonated with me, and up until today, they do. Now, Arantxa, you're part of a very competitive business, which is TV. And 9 times out of 10,
we sit at home watching TV, watching the news. We see you guys standing there telling stories, which I love. And that's why we created this whole podcast. Artistic Spot is to tell stories of success and help people to find their path and maybe see you as someone they can look up to. And if she did it, why can't they, right? So how did you handle a world full of no's in the entertainment business? Because you're part of the biggest TV network, Hispanic TV network in the United States. And some people listening to us, they might think, oh, I want to be there. How did you handle no's? Because there's a big process. Sometimes we forget that you guys have stories.
Yeah.
That you're just telling a story about something else. But you have families, you have friends, you have fears because you're human beings.
Of course.
So how do you handle no's in the entertainment and rejection, of course, in the entertainment business? Because it's a very competitive business. It's very hard for people to get in, and it's very hard because sometimes you're knocking on doors and you get no's and no's and no's, but there's always a tiny little window.
Yeah.
And say, maybe I don't fit, but maybe I can show my hand and they can see it and they can, okay, just go ahead, come through the back door.
I think it's a combination of many things, you know. I think well, first of all, you have to be prepared. Professionally speaking, you know, you have to get better at what you do. So if you are competitive in that way and you start knocking on doors, you might get up, no, thank you very much. But you have to be persistent and persevering, right? Not because they tell you no once, that means that they're not going to give you the opportunity later in the future. So you have to be persistent. Actually, Jorge Ramos, you know, we know who Jorge Ramos
of course
is,
we do.
Right? Many years ago when I first got here, he said the key in this business is perseverance. You know, it's about endurance. It's about being there, doing what you have to do, asking for opportunities. Even if they tell you no 1,000 times, don't stop asking. Because guess what? One time, you know, they'll get probably tired of you asking and they might give you the chance that you've been waiting for. So, consistent, como cucharita de palo, ¿no?
Así es.
Perseverante.
Constancia y perseverancia en busca de la excelencia, como dicen por allí.
Pero aquí te digo algo. So I think that practice makes better, not perfect, because perfection is not obtainable.
That's true.
Yeah, así que...
Now, Arantxa, going back to you as a person, tell us about your life outside Univision. What happens when you're not in front of the TV and the lights and behind the microphone? What happens when you pack up, go home?
Well...
Take care of your puppies,
of course,
your husband,
of course,
your family.
I'm a pretty normal person. You know, I truly am. I don't like, you know, the socialite lifestyle. I like working out, so I go to the gym and work out. I've been out for 4 months. I have to get my, you know what, back into the gym, you know.
It's hard to do it.
God, I know.
And say, okay, it's time. It's like, oh, no, not today, tomorrow.
Discipline.
Yes,
you know, so I was very disciplined, but then back in October, I had to do Despierta America, so my internal clock just got messed up, and then I found some excuses, and then the excuses kept on coming. Whatever. But okay, so a normal day, it's, you know, for instance, my days off. Tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday are my days off, so... I like going to the movies. You know, I have to do my house cleaning like everybody else. You know, wash clothes, you know, wash up bed sheets and vacuum and dust and go grocery shopping and take the puppies for a walk or clean the yard because we have a lot of gifts in the little backyard from the puppies.
I bet you do after having 3 puppies.
Hello, and hopefully 4 soon.
Yeah, exactly. So those gifts are going to multiply.
More work, you know, but yeah, it's a pretty normal life. Like I said, I like painting, you know. So
you do?
I do. I mean, my paintings look like a kindergarten girl trying to become an artist, right? But I don't care because guess what? It makes me happy, you know. And I have some of those in my house, and they look kind of funky, but I like them.
Well, that's important because everybody's an artist.
True. I think that we all have a little bit of poets, and como dice el dicho, ¿no? En español. De poetas y locos todos tenemos un
poco. Así es. Y todos somos artistas.
También. Of course, we do. We all have the potential to be creative. You know, we all have the potential to come up with different things and to play instruments. It's just for some it's easier than others. But if you actually devote yourself, you know, and commit yourself to something, of course you can achieve that, I think.
So, Arantxa, tell us about what's the project you have felt most proud of.
Well, that's a fantastic question because I try to take pride in everything I do. You know, so after every show, if it was a clean show and it just flowed, I feel proud, you know, for the work that I did that day. I've done stories that do mark my life. For instance, we have one story airing this coming Sunday in Aquí y Ahora at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And it's about a person who survived the explosion. And she was there at the moment that the duct exploded. She was there with her husband, and the husband didn't make it. But the horrible part of it is that somebody took a picture of both of them coming out of the field that was in flames after the explosion. And that picture was uploaded in social media.
Oh, wow.
And they're using that picture for memes to make fun of them.
No.
You know, and the guy is completely burned, and he passed away. So now, you know, her pain is, of course, the husband is gone. You know, he was the provider for the home, for the household. She says, you know, he's dead and he's not suffering anymore. But the problem is that my children look at that picture and they ask me, Mommy, why did my dad have to, you know, how to go there to the gasoline leak? You know, why are people just laughing about my daddy or calling him a zombie? You know, so she says, now my children have to live with the consequences of social media and people that have no heart and are making fun of my husband being burned alive. So that story for me was very tough, you know, because of course, you know, she cries and you cry.
Of course, because it's impossible not to resonate or show some empathy.
Of course not.
Which is my favorite word for today's podcast. Empathy.
Yes. Again, if you don't feel empathy, you got to go to the cardiologist or something and get yourself checked.
Yes.
You know, because you're losing your human side.
And everybody has a story to tell.
Of course.
And I'm pretty sure her story is very interesting. And now, after going through all that, her life changed.
Forever.
And it changed forever. And she will be a voice for people that have gone through maybe not the same situation, but similar situation.
You know what? I think that she should be the voice for the people that lack empathy. You know, she should be the voice for the people who like to be bullies, you know, and that, you know, create these memes without really thinking, you know, the horrible impact that will have in the person's life. You know, I mean, this lady will forever see in social media her husband all burned, and the memes, if you want gasoline, call this huachicolero caliente, whatever, the children will see that. And instead of being able to put this in the past and move on,
it's not gonna
every
happen.
time that she sees that meme, she will forever remember the fact that her husband died in a horrible manner. And the children will look at their dad and how people make fun of him forever, because you can never delete that. So I guess, you know, her story will be empathy. And before you start, you know, trying to be funny and make fun of others with memes and ugly comments, just think about that. Would you like to be in their shoes? Would you like for that to be your dad or your brother, you know, or your son?
It will be terrible.
You know, after a horrible accident, somebody snapping a picture and then using it for memes? Really?
Yes. Now that you mentioned that, I have a very important question for you. What do you think about social media? Because now you're telling that story about that picture that has been now a meme, not for a good cause, but for the bad. So how can you tell, what's your opinion about how talent is being perceived? Because it's very amazing that sometimes you post something very important on social media and you don't get too many likes or many comments, but then someone posts something like this and it goes viral.
I think that social media, it's a double-edged sword. You have to be very responsible with what you put there. You know, if you get likes, fantastic, you know, and if you don't, that's okay as well. Don't let that to become the you know, the thermometer of your popularity. Unfortunately, that's what it has become, right? I feel lonely and I want to feel loved.
Yeah.
I'm here having a coffee, and you can be super depressed or horrible, but you make up things because you're looking for that constant approval. Guess what? Love yourself first, right? Love yourself and make sure that the people around you feel loved, you know, instead of looking for that in social media. Approve yourself, you know, feel proud, you know, for the things that you do, instead of looking for that approval in social media. If you don't have anything nice to say,
don't say it.
Don't say it.
True.
You know, don't go to social media and talk ugly about others, because guess what? you will never be able to take that back. It'll always be there forever. And there's going to be a track record of all